This is a by request AR10 review, Nut and Fancy project. The topic is the Windham Armory SRC 308. Thanks for clicking on the video. I will tell you this, it makes me happy when I can get all the testing done, the review done, and I put this video into the 308 Battle Rifles Reviewed playlist here in YouTube. For now, I am still using YouTube. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, honestly, who knows? But I like that playlist because it is a reservoir of TMP information, opinion, data. How did the guns shoot? How accurate were they? How reliable were they? That you can reference. And they're ready-made black rifles, i.e. AR-10s, most of them. I do have guns like the M1A in there, some other ones. Chambered for 7.62 by 51. Now, I need your help if we're going to continue the black rifle reviewing process. Here's what I mean. Are you guys interested in me reviewing ready-made black rifles, whether they're AR-15s or AR-10s specifically? Are you guys into it? I can tell about a week after this video posts, whether it's in Patreon or on A channel, if you're into it. So I'm looking for decent participation, not like insane, and a view as a vote. So here comes a poll right now. And just to answer, I'll put some questions like, do you want me to continue to review ready-made, factory-produced black rifles, or no, and maybe an option of, hey, I just make my own. I don't really buy any factory-produced rifles anymore. Now, if the majority, I think, of TMP guys say that, then I'm going to stop reviewing them, because then, you know, what's the use? If it's a low viewer participation, there's some apathy out there. Yeah, I just don't care. I'm sick of black rifles, so many reviews. I understand that, I do, and I'll just put my focus somewhere else. I mean, I got a ton of watches to review, a ton. This is the Citizen Scuba Fin retrofitted with a very cool leather strap. Holy cow, that transformed this watch. Here's the rubber polymer strap that it came with. I did tabletop this. That watch review will post somewhere, sometime. Very cool. No, Nut and Fancy, not more watch reviews. Well, who knows? I might. I mean, they're core content. They have been for years here. But definitely guns are too. It really depends on the viewer participation. There you go. That's it. And the poll too. I'll look at the poll results. And if guys overwhelmingly say, no, get more black rifles, factory produced black rifles, and review them, then, you know, I'm your servant. I'm going to go out and do just that. And I'll find them. I'll loan them. I'll buy them and I'll bring them to tabletop, and you know how I roll. I'll tell you the straight skinny on how they shot. The topic for today is a Windham Armory AR10 is the SRC 308. Nut and Fancy review such and such. Did you already buy it? Yeah, I did. They just want a validation review. Okay, and that's okay, but like I said, be careful what you ask for. You might get a surprise. So I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly with this Windham Armory SRC 308. It's about $1,400, which puts it amongst a lot of competition. If we go to $1,400, I mean, there's a lot of guns that we can buy in that price range. I'm talking ready-made AR-10s. I will mention some before the review is done. And right now, just sitting at the top is a Palmetto Armory PA-10. I'm going to review that separately, I think. I think it deserves its own review. They are very similar, however. We did take them out on 3 outings apiece, hundreds of rounds shot. Sean, the TMPer, was my crew, helping me on these guns. And, you know, we have some opinions. I don't know if they're strong opinions, though, and I don't foresee any rants. Okay, one mini rant. I see a mini rant coming on, which is incredible. I can't believe it. Stay tuned. You'll see what I'm talking about. First and foremost, I'm going to thank my sponsor. Kind of. I get loaner guns from Gunny's, a great American gun store. Buy guns from him, so it's you know, beneficial for him to loan these guns. So I put wear and tear on them. He sells them as used. He takes a loss on the guns. He supports TMP. There's no money, you know, getting paid to me. I don't pay him any money. It's just a pure process, unlike a lot of what you see here on YouTube with a lot of under-the-table payments going on. A lot of TPA. I've talked about that. Gunny's, though, I mean, he supports me. Wyatt, thanks so much. I appreciate it. In conjunction with Federal, where I get some boxes of ammo, like I always say, Federal Premium. So thanks to them as well. kind of like this right here. This is I shot this stuff, the M1A 168 OTM match round. They don't use Sierra bullets in there, but it's a pretty accurate round, sub MOA out of the correct gun. But these are basic AR-10s. So they're heavy hitters. That's a philosophy of use. Competition rifles, that's a philosophy of use. Without rule of law, yep, definitely a POU. Recreational, yep, Team rifle. What do I mean by team rifle? And I do have SWAT departments to this day that will click on my videos and dial in once in a while and see what's going on. Hi to all my police officers out there. Love you, mean it. Team rifle has to be really accurate. It has to be really reliable. Team rifle philosophy of use was definitely applied to the SIG 716, both Gen 1 and 2. Also the H&K MR 762. Both of those rifles shot very well. And I would totally be comfortable saying total team rifles, both of those guns. These, I shouldn't say these, but this one, the SRC 308, we'll see. We'll see. We'll come back to that. SAWC. AR-10s are big. The ammo's freaking heavy. You guys know this, right? So it's a limited mobility weapon as it comes. And I'm talking naked. This thing weighs 8 pounds, 7 ounces, SRC 308. I'm not going to say that's 8 pounds, 6 ounces. That's not an outlandish weight. I don't mean to present it that way. It's not. AR-10s are just heavy. I did review the POF one, the Revolution, I think it was called, and it had some issues. Maybe the next generations fix that, and it promises to go sub 8 pounds. That's good. These are more, I keep saying these. This is a more traditional AR-10. That is, it's going to be about 8.5 pounds. And that's with nothing on it. You put mounts on it, you put slings, you put glass on it, and I see a lot of guys putting stupid optics on their guns. When I say stupid, I'm talking heavy. Not that they're bad optics, but they're like, you know, 25, 26 ounces, and I'll see them at the range and they'll brag to me how great the optic is. Oh man, this US optic scope is so awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I have no doubt, but I don't want to carry that in a Red Skies op. I don't want to carry that without rule of law. There's no way. I don't even want to run a checkpoint with that thing. It's too dang heavy. It's just my mileage. So if we talk philosophy of use, firepower versus mobility, if you're going with an AR-10, obviously you're going with more firepower. You're going to take the extra weight of the magazines. You're going to take the extra weight of the ammunition and of the gun. And it's substantial. I think a lot of y'all ought to really put some thought into just running with an AR-15 and running 77s out of it, because that's a hard-hitting platform, readily available ammunition, not as expensive as 6.8 SPC or 300 Black. Those are great calibers too, but they have limitations as far as availability and costs, and a lot of guys just don't have the money to stock all that stuff up. Boom, POU done. Talked about the weight. It's going to be very similar. Heck, that one's the same. I think the Palmetto PA-10's 8 pounds 7. My still favored Smith & Wesson MMP-10 is like 8 pounds 4 naked. Might be a little bit less than that. I'd have to go check that again. I will say that these have free-floated forends on them, and the MMP-10 that I have doesn't. And this one has an 18-inch barrel. We're going into features right now. So that's a big thumbs up to Windham. I like it when they put 18-inch barrels. The AR-10 already has a ton of blast, some recoil. If I put a 16-inch barrel on it, it's even worse. And I lose a little bit of velocity, about 140 feet per second, depending on your load. I like 18-inch barrels. I've preached about that forever. I like how they fluted the barrel here with the Windham SRC 308. Little bit of weight saved, a little bit, not much. It is a relatively thick profile barrel. I like that. They didn't go with a government profile. They didn't chintz out on the thickness of the steel, which is, by the way, chrome lined 4150 in the Windham Armory SRC 308. Amazingly, here comes that mini rant I referred to earlier. Amazingly, they put an A2 flash hider on this gun. What? And also Palmetto did the same thing in the background. Sean and I are like, wait, just a second. Now this is a value priced AR-10. I can understand it with this gun. This one is not. Again, I'll ballpark it around $1,400. You don't put an A2 on a freaking 7.62 51 and charged $1,400. I ended up screwing on one of my battle comps on it so we could actually shoot it enjoyably. This is a great compensator. It's not a flash hider, comp. And once we put the battle comp on, thumbs up, it was awesome. With the A2, it was unenjoyable. It was loud, lots of recoil, slower follow-up on barrel recovery. No. Oh, I did run a can on it too, so you're going to see footage of us running a suppressor on it.
It's running good.
I'm trying to think which one. Was it the Dead Air or one of my other ones? I honestly forget, and it doesn't really matter. All the cans are so similar these days. They're all pretty good. They're not like, you're not going to buy a crappy can. It's very seldom. Anyways, so that's a barrel. Standard threading, 5/8 threading on it. Then we have a Midwest Industries 15-inch key mod handguard. And I still love the MI handguard. In fact, I put it onto my own AR-15 builds. If you go and look, jokingly named the best AR-15 build in the world video that I put together, I show you all my component choices I did. And I think this was one of them, the MI handguard. I forget exactly which model, but it looks very similar to this. It's pretty lightweight, heavily milled out. So you see there's not a lot of metal in this handguard. It's reduced diameter, which I've always advocated, and it's so great to see the industry go that way. Pinned gas block, that's nice. A lot of guys will really like that instead of set screws in the bottom of it. This is obviously a DI gun. Funny how DI has come back into favor. Oh my goodness. And I've said this before, but super quick. Like when I did TMP from probably 2008 to 2011, I was catching a lot of heat for defending DI as a platform, because then the industry was really trying to push piston guns. Why? To make sales, to make money, to make you think your DI gun is broken, you need to go out and buy something else. They're trying to make money. And lots of people signed off on that hype, not me. And a lot of reviewers in YouTube did too. They're like, yeah, I would never run a DI gun. DI is awesome. Even in the AR10 platform, which it was originally designed by Eugene Stoner. You guys know this. Great attachment system on the MI handguard. No twisting, no rotation. Nice big barrel nut. It's not POF cool though. POF has that cooling barrel nut that actually has fins on it that dissipates chamber heat. We have forged upper and lower on the SRC 308. I much prefer it over billet. I've always said that. Let's see if I have a forge marking on here. Looks like Cero. I think that's a Cero forge marking. Looks like a DPMS pattern receiver. Standard charging handle. That's another miss at this price point. We should have an upgraded charging handle, y'all. I'm talking to Windham. That's not good. That is not good. So give us something additional. Again, we go back to the POF. And I kind of gave a negative review to that POF 308. I'm just telling you honestly. But features-wise, it was very squared away. And again, I'm saying it's going to be a higher-end AR10 for sure. It's going to be more expensive than this gun still. But the feature set on those POFs is incredible. Charging handle, barrel nut, all kinds of cool stuff inside. Big fan of it. Now, go watch my reviews on that if you're interested. Not taking it apart, because last time I did, I smudged my table up. Not doing that. It was like hours getting it clean. Now, I'll give you a couple pictures of what it looks like. A really high quality bolt carrier group. I weighed it. It was 18 ounces. Everything you would expect there. Everything's pinned that needs to be pinned. High quality materials. It's good. It's not cutting edge. It's just kind of state of the industry type BCG. Same could be said about the Palmetto. Let's check out the trigger. And the trigger is awful. I did not like the trigger, and I didn't like it on the Palmetto either. It's just standard rack grade AR-15. And again, for the price level, I think it's just a miss. I know it's an AR-10. I have always said I don't know why they have to charge more for AR-10s. Materially, they're similar to the AR-15. Uh-oh, here comes another mini rant. Remember, I'm a consumer advocate, y'all. So I'm like you. I go out and I look. I want a lot for my money. And so I'm like, WTH, why do they charge so much for AR-10s? The answer is because they can. Because the market allows them to. If they stop selling at $1,400, trust me, they're going to lower the price. But because there's so many guys that will go out and spend $1,400 on a Windham Armory SRC 308, that's where the price is. It's economics 101. Everything's like that. So if people stop buying it at that price level, the price will go down. But if the price stays at that level, that means people are buying it. Economics lesson, free of charge. So yeah, the trigger sucks. It should be better, you know, at this price point. I don't blame the Palmetto. That's a value priced AR-10. And I don't care if that's a stock AR trigger there. I'm calling it AR trigger because you know what I mean. You can swap this out, but you know, there you go. More time, more expense. How much expense, Nut and Fancy? Well, you guys know as much about triggers at this point as I do. I mean, you guys have ARs, AR-10s, and you know what you like. There's so many great triggers out there. There's some value price triggers, like the Rock River Arms is still a good trigger. It's like 125 bucks, maybe less. I like the modular ones that I can just drop in. I don't have to dick around with stuff. They're easy to drop in. Cool. We're going to take a break at this time for a toy review. What? Yes, a mini toy review. This is the Ultimate Soldier Modern NATO Weapons Set Series 1. This we've had for about 15 years. So at the top here, we've got an AKU-94 bullpup. This is new in package, although it got wet and it kind of shows some shelf wear. H&K UMP right here, sick. H&K G36. So it's a toy review, but it's kind of a weapons review too. Love the camo job on that. This is 1/6 scale, kind of G.I. Joe stuff. There's an FN P90 falling out of its slot. By the way, I have requests to review that. I still get them once in a while. Review the P90. Maybe I will. If this video gets 100,000 views, I guarantee you I will review the P90 as soon as I can possibly get one. 100,000 views, I'll say in 2 weeks. There you go. Walther WA2000 7.62-51 semi-auto sapper, semi-automatic precision rifle. In service, I had to look this up. 82 to 88 is all for that. Here's a package back. I think we have that. The M5 Stuart tank, 1/6 scale. It is huge. This was put out by 21st Century Toys. They long went out of business, I think. They found out that these things were so big that no one can, you know, buy them and have a place to hide them, store them. I mean, the boys love this stuff. They did huge setup, 1/6 scale setups with tanks and these weapons. I like the 21C weapons because they weren't too fragile. Some of the other stuff, like the Dragon series guns, were so fragile that you push something, like rack a bolt back, it snaps off. Although the realism is really high in the Dragon and some of the other toys too. Like they'd have individual rounds that would load in the magazines. These are just about the right level that the kids could play with them and prepare for weaponry. Toy review complete. What? I can't believe he did a toy review. Toy review. Back to the AR-10 features. This is the Hogue grip. We've seen it a lot. It's a value grip. I'm sorry, it's kind of a miss. Again, the price point. I'm seeing a trend here. Are you? Yeah, kind of. And then we go to the rear stock, which I dislike greatly. It's the Magpul MOE fixed. Hey, Nut and Fancy, I have that stock and I love it. Well, no doubt it's a great range stock, but you wouldn't want to hike with it. Doesn't retract, it's big, it's bulky, it bangs into stuff. I think the profile is excellent. It's comfortable, it has a good butt pad, it has a storage compartment, has a single attachment cup. There's one right here, also one in the fore end I forgot to mention. So there's ways to attach your sling. You don't need a sling plate if you're running cups on it. It's okay. I mean, I prefer a different one. I'm still going with Battle Links. That's what I like, the MFT Battle Links. They're just super simple, lightweight. They do have some competition though, I've noted. Great competition. Standard AR features on this side, dust cover, shell deflector, and the rest of the stuff you'd expect to see right there. On the table, by the way, we got all kinds of crap. We've got a Lightning, heavily used as a carry knife out of genre mini review. Love the Lightning. One of the funnest, most affordable auto knives ever made. And then Skyline XL at Blade HQ, right there in OD. Government is a problem, Ronald Reagan, sure enough. Then we have Allie the Mountain Dog sticker. Sorry, those are not in the web store. It's not my sticker. I think they watched the project, said that in another video. And then an older award right here, sitting there for the gun reviews, way back when. TMP's been going forever. I talked about the watch. Boom. Enough said. How did this shoot then? Well, it's funny, and I have the PA-10 on the table because these guns ran side by side in the testing with Sean and I, and they did shoot very similar. They shot very AR-10-ish. That is, they do have some recoil, especially with those dang A2 cages on it, which the PA-10 also had, which I also hated. Big thumbs down. Again, I ranted about that. I think most of y'all would. I mean, if I took you out shooting with an A2 flash hider equipped AR-10, and then I put you on a battle comp or one that had a can on, you would see exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll see comments below of competitors and guys that have shot a lot of AR-10s, probably more than me, that will repeat that sentiment. That your muzzle device on an AR-10, or for that matter, any .308 battle rifle, is actually much more critical, in my opinion, that's all it is, than an AR-15. It's a bigger cartridge, there's a lot more gas being expelled, and I'm that way too, by the way. And it's just something you can really improve just by slapping that on. And the funny thing is, I ran the A2s out there, but I had these, and I just threw them in the back. I forget which one this is, but I really liked it. And I was like, I told Sean, I was like, man, I'm just having a feeling these A2s are going to be horrible. Yeah, they were. And then we just put those on. And the can, too, as well. I didn't throw the can on the PA-10, I think. I did run on the on this Windham. I'm calling it AR-10 because that's what it is. Everyone has their own proprietary name for it. So shooting was very AR-10-ish. Same recoil, and the dynamics didn't surprise us at all, even after we put the device on. Now, reliability. I will say the reliability of the SRC 308, this one right here, was actually pretty excellent, which I'm very happy to report. So I'm giving you some criticisms on their feature set of the components. I think they're well deserved at this price point. But overall, the gun shot reliably. Mostly reliably with a can, which was very surprising to me because it does not have an adjustable gas block. So we obviously did no adjustments to that. Heck, with my Smith & Wesson M&P 10s, I found that was absolutely necessary to get reliability out of that gun. So that's an 18-inch barrel. I put a adjustable gas block and I tuned it for can use, and then it works fine. I was really surprised that this mostly ran 100% with a can on it. I say mostly because we did have at least one stoppage, and I really just give it a pass, because anytime on a direct gas impingement AR-10, you throw a can on it with that volume of gas, I've talked about this before, you're just changing the whole recoil impulse, how much gas is going back there. Usually you're over-gassing the gun, and so you can get some stoppages. I was surprised it ran as good as it did. And that will take us to accuracy. I will say it was fair to good. Sorry. Yeah, bad trigger. I talked about that. These are all good pulls. Yeah, it's operational in the desert. I would expect a little bit better. This is 168 grain open tip match. This is gold metal match, shooting at about 2 inches, a little bit under 2 inches. Federal 150 grain soft point is a half MOA load, and it was shooting, as you can see, not well.
Yeah, it's good.
What is that, about 2.5 inch group? In a good gun, bolt or auto, that will shoot 3/4 inches, even in the desert. Cellar and Bellet 150 grain. It's not all Federal, by the way. Federal just gives me some boxes, so the rest of the ammunition I buy. I'm still spending thousands on ammo, in case you're wondering. This was a good group here. I said another 1/2 inch down, so that was a really good group. I forget the rounds here. That's a horrible group. Horrible group. By way of reference, I brought my Smith & Wesson M&P 10 out that day, and this is what it shot. So it wasn't doing like amazing. It wasn't doing like half MOA. I mean, look at this group. That group wasn't that great either. So to be real, the M&P 10 was shooting better that day for sure, but it wasn't like totally nailing it. And then Sean got behind the gun. I'm talking the Windham SRC 308, and these are his results. This is PMC bronze, so that's mediocre, good, really good group here. I'm just seeing inconsistency. The optics are tight. That is an Aero Precision mount. This is a Pro Staff 7 value scope. Nice. Speaking of lightweight scopes, I mean, look, 20.5 ounces. That's total weight, so that's mount and scope. And when I talked about US optics, I didn't mean to say like 25. They're more like 40 ounce optics I see at the range. Windham AR10, here we go. So this is NATO stamped FMJs. Bad trigger still, 100% reliability, mediocre accuracy. When I review one of these guns, dudes, if it's not accuracy, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say, because it just doesn't do it for me. You know, for me, this is a sapper philosophy of use. For me, just how it's a semi-automatic precision rifle. For that, I want it to be accurate. I want it to be reliable. At least 1 MOA with really good loads. Now, ball ammo, I would like it to shoot into 1.5 inches. The Windham, as you saw, did do that, but it wasn't consistent. So, competitive options. You're looking at one right here, and it's about half the price.
Palmetto AR10.
Palmetto PA10. And let me just short circuit it right now. I'm planning on reviewing that. If this video tanks, maybe I won't. The PA10 is as good as the Windham, if not better. It has a basic feature set, but I prefer the buttstock. I prefer the A2 pistol grip over the Hogue. Sorry, I do. The handguard is simple, but I could live with it. The barrel must be really excellent because the accuracy we got out of the PA10 was better than this. Reliably, it was as good. We didn't run a can on it, like I said, so I don't know about that, but I don't remember any stoppages out of the PA10. I think it's like around 800 bucks. Store price at Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store, I think. I could be off on that price, but it's about half the price of this. Well, maybe not quite half, but you're going to save hundreds and hundreds. So, you know, if I'm going to spend $1,400, I'm going to go somewhere else probably. I reviewed a whole bunch of other guns, like POF Revolution I told you about, the POF P308 I've reviewed. What else did I oh, the Live Free Armory AR10, I reviewed that. The Savage MSR10, I reviewed that. It shot about like this one. The Savage MSR10 was a little bit disappointing, actually a lot disappointing in the barrel department, and I said, I don't know what's going on at Savage. Something's up with their barrels. Ruger SR762, that's actually reviewed. I have not posted that video as of the filming of this. It will. Good. FN17S, love that gun. SIG, H&K I talked about. FNAR, everyone hates that gun. I don't even see them around anymore. I loved it. It was fun. I did sell mine though. It's long gone because it's just too heavy. 9 pounds, 11 ounces. What? Bushmaster ORC optics ready carbine. That thing was only 8 pounds, 2 ounces, but out of polymer handguard. And then of course the M&P 10. Would you buy it over this, Nut and Fancy? Yeah, totally. 8 pounds, 3 ounces of Smith & Wesson M&P 10, 18-inch barrel, 5R rifling, 4140 steel. Yeah, totally, I would. And then, did I review the Rock River LAR 8? I don't remember. But if this gets lots of views, I will. I will. So would I buy the Windham Armory AR10? Not at $1,400, I wouldn't. For everything I've told you in this tabletop review. But if it had a upgraded feature set, this stuff right here, granted all that stuff's simple to, this stuff, the furniture's simple to replace, albeit some money. The trigger is a major disappointment for me. The handguard I love. The accuracy is a major disappointment. So no, not at $1,400, I would not. Say and comment if you would, and remember to take that poll. Do you want me to keep reviewing ready-made black rifles, AR-10s, AR-15s, Nut and Fancy project? Thanks for the support. Thanks for joining TMP Patreon. It's the reason I keep making videos. Honestly, it is. Link below. Make sure you hit again that notification bell here in YouTube. Oopsie. Got scared and fell over. It's all right. Hit. Dude, you're on it.